did promise that I'll do a longer term review on the Hasselblad X2D since receiving it at the beginning of this year in February. This camera is quite interesting. Full disclaimer, as I mentioned in my first video on this camera, Hasselblad did send me this to do some work with them over on Instagram, but they have zero desire and no input in me making videos for YouTube. I'm doing these out of my own decision and on my own time because I love talking about camera gear. Any camera really that's come out in the last 10 years is capable of making some amazing photographs, especially when they're in the right hands. And if I can find something that inspires me to get out and go make photos, especially as this is my full-time job, then I found a winner. It's all about how I feel when I pick up the camera and when I'm making photos. Now, this is a high-end camera. It's 100 megapixels. It's got 1 terabyte of built-in storage, and it's very, very basic in terms of its user experience. And I actually quite like that. It definitely fits into my whole, if you've watched my previous videos, you know that I'm trying to slow down with my photography. It definitely fits that whole mission that I've been focusing on for the last year or so, of slowing down, being more present in the moment, and being more intentional with what I'm capturing. And the Hasselblad is no exception to that. It's a slow boot up time. You hold the button down and we're like 4 or 5 seconds in, 6, 7, 8, now it's just turned on. Medium format is not fast-paced photography. If you've used the GFX before, it's a very similar experience to that in terms of booting up, composing a shot, taking a shot, viewing a shot. It's just an all-round slower process, which some people like and I myself really like. And just looking at the camera and holding the camera, it is a stunning camera. Probably one of the best looking cameras, and if not the best built camera that I've ever had the opportunity to use. Image quality, I don't really have anything bad to say. It is absolutely incredible. I think the biggest thing that stood out to me the most is I went on a trip to Scotland, and I was in the Isle of Skye. Now, unfortunately, this trip was cut short. I was only there for a day rather than 3, but I got a little bit sick, so I had to cut that trip short. But in the short time that I had in the Isle of Skye, I went to Old Man's Store and I took probably like 5 photos. I went at the wrong time of day thinking it was gonna be good for sunset, but it was actually severely backlit. But that being said, the dynamic range on this camera is absolutely incredible. So I'm gonna show a raw photo right now. I was exposing for the highlights, and then here's my edited photo, and the amount of shadow recovery is just absolutely insane. I was speechless when I was editing this photo. Just mind-blowing how much you can push these raw files from this camera. The rendering, the fidelity of these files, it's probably the best that I've ever used. And I've had the opportunity to use some incredibly capable cameras. And I talked about at the beginning that any camera really is capable, but there is differences. And as someone who's been doing this for over a decade, I can see these differences and I can understand why. It's not just the build quality and the user experience of why this camera costs so much. It is that pure image quality. Now, if you decide to pick up a Hasselblad X2D and a lens, you're looking at least like $10,000 depending on where you're buying it from. This type of equipment, I mean, any camera equipment in general, especially if it's camera equipment that puts food on your table and money in your bank, it's highly advisable to get yourself some camera insurance. And that brings us to today's video sponsor, which is Professional Photographers of America, or PPA. Now, PPA offer a variety of different insurance options, whether you're a hobbyist or a professional or semi-professional, or you just want to have your gear covered. They have specific packages that are tailored for you. And it's not just camera gear insurance. They offer a variety of different educational courses. They have templates for contracts. One thing that I think people don't fully understand, with PPA membership, you get full access to a variety of different discounts. We've got discounts at B&H, Canon Professional Services, Dell Small Businesses, data recovery options, and one that I absolutely love and definitely slept on is you can even get a discount at UPS. If you're like me and you're sending a lot of camera gear because you like to cycle through camera gear, having a discount at a postal service is really, really clutch. So getting access to all of these discounts is just a huge added benefit with your PPA membership. Thanks again to PPA for sponsoring this video. And if you want to check out more, you can use the link in the description. And if you sign up with that link, you'll get $25 off a full membership. There's something film-like about this shooting experience and the way that the sensor and the lenses pair together and just render this incredible depth of field, and especially shooting wide open, as I love to shoot wide open. It just creates this real dreamlike separation. And it's something that brings me back to the X2D time and time again. And I've actually been substituting it in place of my Q3 because I got the M11. Now, obviously my situation is very personal, so don't read too much into it, but it's definitely been able to fill the role of the Q3 in my commercial work. Another thing I love is the ability to change aspect ratios. Now, other cameras can do this. Fujifilm are known for doing this. You can map it to a key, and I have it mapped to my M key, and you can turn on and off what aspect ratios you want to cycle through. And I love X-Pan. It's just, you know, it's crazy wide, and it just gives that movie-like feel. And just being able to compose in camera, whether it's through the screen or the viewfinder with that full X-Pan, has been is a really enjoyable experience, and just helps you be a little bit more immersed in that creative process, rather than just taking a, you know, 2x3 photo and then thinking about cropping it later into that more, you know, quote unquote cinematic aspect ratio. Having it in the moment just changes everything really, and it's just been such a joy to experience, and I really hope we can see that from more camera manufacturers in the future. So the all-round shooting experience is actually quite nice, and I was a little resistant at first because there is no joystick, and I was trying to use the touchscreen, and the touchscreen is not that responsive for my focusing. But the way that Hasselblad do it, because there's no joystick, you have to push this scroll wheel, and then you can use the front and back scroll wheel to change the position of the joystick. But it's not very customizable. You can't change which scroll wheel moves it up or down or side to side. And then if you're shooting in portrait, then obviously it's kind of inverted. So that I did not like one bit. If you've seen the rumors, there are rumors of an X2D Mark II, and that actually does have a joystick, which will be a very nice upgrade. I don't think much has changed in terms of the sensor. I think it may even be the same sensor. But a joystick will be a welcome addition to this camera, and I think that would really change my whole approach to this camera and my whole kind of mental experience with it. As crazy thing to say, it's a very privileged thing to say. We're very spoiled with cameras these days, but I think it's just missing a joystick to really kind of be a near perfect kind of camera for me to use on a daily basis. Biggest thing I love about it is that 1 terabyte of built-in storage. I haven't used the memory card since I've received this because all the storage is there. It's in the camera, and it's quick. You can use the app to transfer photos to your phone. You can transfer raw photos in literally seconds, or you can just plug it in with a USB-C into your computer and download straight to whatever editing software that you use. The raw files are absolutely enormous, but it doesn't bother me too much. If I need to, I just buy more hard drives. I think all in all, this is a fantastic camera, and I am thoroughly enjoying using it. It's definitely got a place in my kit alongside my Q3 and my M11. It has its issues, but they are very personal issues for me. And I think if you're eyeing one, it's absolutely incredible, especially if you are a pure landscape photographer. This is who this camera is made for. The dynamic range, the color fidelity, and just the pure image quality of 100 megapixels is just absolutely fantastic. And all in all, fantastic camera. I'm excited to see what they do with the X2D Mark II. Maybe that means the price will come down on these, and it might be a good time to pick it up in the next few months. But if you have any questions about this that I haven't been able to address, just drop a comment down below or reach out to me on Instagram. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.